Welcome to Korean Cinema Channel. Today I would like to send you the following news. Why would anyone criticize a duo that seems almost tailor-made for the screen? On paper, Yu Long and Miemie are the perfect storm, the seasoned, composed uncle figure paired with the lively, sweet little sister archetype. Together, they bring a striking visual contrast, the maturity of a man who has lived and learned, set against the effervescence of a young actress whose charm is undeniable. Their chemistry lights up the screen like fire meeting ice. And yet, despite the magic they create, not everyone is enchanted. For some viewers, the very thing that makes them unique, their stark age gap, is also the source of discomfort. Detractors argue that the uncle and Lolita pairing feels forced, outdated, or even unrealistic. Instead of refreshing, it comes across as another recycled trope in the drama market. Others criticize Yu Long for leaning too heavily on the stereotypical dominant CEO persona, a character type audiences feel they've seen 1,000 times before. Meanwhile, Miemie's sugary sweet image, while endearing to many, has been labeled by skeptics as overly reliant on one-dimensional cuteness. The fandom wars don't help either. CP fans adore the pairing, insisting their sparks are genuine, while solo fans from both sides worry that being tied together limits their idol's individual growth. And in the polarized tastes of modern audiences, some craving unconventional pairings, others preferring traditional, age-matched romances, and it's no surprise that the couple ignites both passion and criticism in equal measure. Love them or not, one thing is clear, Yu Long and Miemie are no ordinary on-screen couple, and perhaps that's exactly why they remain impossible to ignore in the dazzling world of short dramas where countless couples rise and fade overnight. There emerges a pair that no one can ignore, Yu Long and Miemie. At first glance, they seem almost mismatched, an older man, steady and commanding, paired with a younger girl, sweet and innocent. Yet, the moment they stand side by side, everything makes sense. Their height difference, their age gap, even the subtle contrast between his quiet masculinity and her playful charm, these elements weave together like brushstrokes on a masterpiece, forming a picture so mesmerizing that it demands a second look. Yu Long, tall, broad-shouldered, and radiating authority, has the kind of presence that fills a room before he even speaks. He embodies strength and composure, the very image of a man who has weathered storms and come out sharper, more unshakable. Opposite him stands Miemie, petite and doll-like, with sparkling eyes that carry the mischief of youth and a smile so warm it could melt the coldest heart. Together, they create a visual contradiction, yet somehow, the contradiction becomes their greatest charm. What makes this duo unforgettable is not just their appearance, but the magnetic chemistry they bring to every role. When Yu Long gazes at her, it's with a steadiness that hints at deep, unspoken emotions. When Miemie looks back, her innocence is tinged with a subtle daring, as if she knows exactly how much power she has over him. It's a dynamic that is both intoxicating and dangerous, pulling audiences into their orbit and refusing to let go. Their dramas are not simply stories, they are emotional roller coasters. Viewers find themselves laughing at her playful antics, aching at his restrained tenderness, and holding their breath during every stolen glance or accidental touch. The sweetness feels almost too much to bear, the tension almost too real. Fans often comment that they don't just watch Yu Long and Miemie, they experience them, as if their hearts were bound to the screen. Some say their pairing is unconventional. Some even criticize the age gap or the stark contrast in their images. But perhaps it is precisely this unconventional quality that makes them unforgettable. In a market saturated with ordinary couples, Yu Long and Miemie stand out as extraordinary. They are not trying to fit into the mold, they are breaking it, rewriting the rules of what on-screen chemistry should look like. And so, the question arises, in a world that thrives on fleeting fads, can anyone truly resist a partnership where every glance is charged with electricity, every smile hides a promise, and every embrace feels like destiny unfolding before our eyes? Because when Yu Long and Miemie stand together, the world doesn't just see a couple, it witnesses a love story that feels both impossible and inevitable. But let's be clear, Yu Long and Miemie are not the kind of people who can be easily bullied or shaken. Some individuals deliberately spread negativity, trying to provoke them into responding, hoping to tarnish their image. These are not genuine viewers, they are the so-called anti-fans, driven more by jealousy than reason. Yet, instead of engaging in petty battles, Yu Long and Miemie rise above the noise. Their strength lies not in words, but in performance. Every time they appear on screen, their flawless rhythm and unspoken understanding silence the doubters. They turn contrast into art, using differences in age, image, and temperament not as flaws but as fuel to heighten the emotion. It is precisely this mastery of contrast that transforms their acting into something unforgettable in the fast-paced universe of short dramas, where countless couples come and go. Few partnerships manage to leave a lasting impression. Yet, Yu Long and Miemie are different. The moment they appear on screen together, it feels less like acting and more like an unspoken fate unfolding. He is tall, calm, and magnetic, radiating a quiet authority that commands attention. She is petite, lively, and irresistibly sweet, exuding an energy that lights up every frame. At first glance, their pairing may seem like an unlikely contrast, but in truth, that very contrast is the secret to their undeniable charm. Miemie's outgoing spirit infuses her characters with courage, the kind of courage that shatters deadlocks, changes destinies, and turns fragile moments into bold declarations. Yu Long's restraint, by contrast, gives his roles a depth that lingers beneath the surface, like an undercurrent waiting to surge. Together, they form a balance that is both captivating and explosive. Watching them is like tasting an iced Americano with a piece of popping candy dropped inside. The first sip delivers a sharp, cool bitterness, but just as you're absorbing that intensity, sweetness bursts open unexpectedly, fizzing on the tongue and awakening every sense. This unique rhythm of tension and release makes their scenes much more than formulaic romance. Their performances transcend the typical sweet pet genre and evolve into something more nuanced, something that feels like genuine heartbeat. Each look exchanged carries weight. Each pause hides a storm. Each moment of tenderness is sharpened by the very possibility of restraint breaking free. It is this intricate dance of control and abandon that sets them apart from every other on-screen couple. Critics may argue about age gaps or image differences, but fans know the truth. Yu Long and Miemie are not bound by convention. They don't simply fit into pre-existing molds, they redefine them. Their chemistry is not about perfection, but about contrast. Not about predictability, but about surprise. They embody the art of contradiction, sweetness wrapped in intensity, innocence layered over maturity, warmth tempered by cool composure. And what happens when such contradictions collide? The screen doesn't just display a story, it pulses with life. Their scenes make audiences hold their breath, laugh too hard, cry too unexpectedly, and sometimes even question whether they are witnessing fiction or fragments of reality disguised as performance. Because when Yu Long's restrained gaze meets Miemie's daring sparkle, the drama no longer feels like a script. It feels like destiny itself daring us to believe in a love that is at once bitter and sweet, cool and fiery, impossible yet undeniable. And so, the question remains, in a world flooded with fleeting romances, who could ever resist the explosive sweetness of an iced Americano kissed by popping candy? Personally, I hold a deep fondness for the two of them. There is never a trace of restraint when they are together. Their emotions flow so naturally that one cannot help but smile while watching. Nothing about their connection feels forced or pretended. It is genuine, heartfelt, and sincere. They treat each other with honesty, and Yu Long, in particular, shows a kind of thoughtful care and gentle protection toward Miemie that is both touching and rare. After all, how many men in this world possess such warmth, attentiveness, and quiet strength? Thank you for watching my channel. See you in the next videos. Thanks.